Hello, my name is Gerrit-Jan Oudnes and I would like to bid you all a warm welcome at the Bespeak headquarters and especially the judges of the 2015 e-learning awards. Today I'm going to tell and talk with you about Hair Level. Hair Level is a vocational training program which we first made in 2009 and it's a vocational trainings program for hairdressers. And when we made our first edition of Hair Level, we went to look into the target group, and today I'm going to take you with me on a customer journey how we made Hair Level and how we made the mobile version of Hair Level. The target group really mainly young girls and luckily one male, mainly young girls age 16, 17 who want to become hairdresser. And what's the image they have from becoming a hairdresser? The image they have is highly fashioned models, like magazines. They want to make the hair that Megan Fox has, or they want to make the hair and cut the hair of a high fashion model. But actually, when they go to school, the reality check is really great, because the choices they have to make. In the Netherlands, the vocational training program is like this. 4 days a week you're going to the salon, and 1 day a week you go to school. In the salon, you meet your salon manager, and your salon manager is that nice, warm and heartly woman you always wanted to meet. At school, it's something different, because most of the times at school, you're presented with the teacher you don't really like, and he's not that hip and fashionable. So what we were talking to hairdressers, young hairdressers and students, what they want to make at school. And when they went to school, the reality check was really great. This is a school situation in the Netherlands, and you see it's a little bit dull, a little bit boring from my point of view, and this is their reality check. They want to make high fashion models, but in the reality, school is sometimes a little bit boring. And so what about training to become a hairdresser? You want to make the high fashion model, but the first 3 months, you're just cutting your granddad. And you have to have a good relation with the granddad, because you have to take him with you all the time, and you're not making that high-end fashion model you wanted to make. So what did we do? We wanted to make e-learning, but we didn't want to make e-learning like this. Because if you're looking at the target group, the e-learning should feel a little bit sexy, a little bit fashionable, and was more like MTV with a remote control. But if you, with respect, look at the target group, the remote control should have less buttons, really. And so we wanted to make a program in which they could see everything they wanted to make. Because when we went talking to young students, they say, I don't have any clue what I'm going to learn next month, or let's say in 3 months. So what we did make was an entire program of 36 levels. In each level was presented what they were going to make next month. So the student was able to have an entire overview over the entire vocational program in 3 years. That was never done before. While making Hair Level, we made 4,800 of study load hours. That means 3 years of digital online content. In the Netherlands, that was never done before. You could learn to become a hairdresser just by looking in the online programs. And our first Hair Level made a huge impression in the Dutch market. We won a lot of prizes like the Spin Awards, the Dutch e-learning awards, and in the Netherlands we say the Gouden Reiger, that's the middle one of them, that's a communication award. And Hair Level had 8 books, action cards, so it had folio, it had online learning content. Okay, we were successful, but how successful were we? Well, the impact, we were market leader. We have some 3,900 of Hair Level XL users, and we made a large impact in the Dutch market. And we have the largest user base. Okay, so if everything went perfectly well, why did we make a new mobile version? Well, there were some things we didn't think about. For instance, really, if you want to teach or to keep a secret from a hairdresser, you have to really write it down. They don't like to read. So you have to make everything in video, you have to make it easy accessible. And okay, we also had some problems when we implemented the High Level Excel program. Okay, which things did we overlook or did went differently? From a student perspective, from a teacher perspective, from a salon perspective. Well, the teacher could make study profiles, but we were battling against the proxy servers from large schools who thought that all the students wanted to log on the same time, so the videos weren't playing in all the locations. And we had some problems in that the teacher was actually closing the content. We had 36 levels, and the teacher thought, wow, it's really dangerous if the students works ahead of me. So they closed all the levels except one. And what we wanted, that they could look forward, look backward, see what were they going to make in 3 months. They just closed all the profiles. And what happened in the salon? There were all conditionalities with the student. So the student was waiting that the teacher to approve his lessons, and the student was waiting that the salon manager was going to improve or approve the lessons. And the inattention, the salon managers were a little bit slack, lazy you could say, but they wanted to run the business and they didn't care about the educational program. So all things we made, there were some things that didn't go as well as we wanted to go. And what did we do? It was time for a reset. And if you want to make a total reset in 2014, the reset should be about that young girl who wants to become a hairdresser. Okay, we should first look into her life. So what's the daily life of, well, we call her Linda in the Netherlands. What's the daily life of Linda? Well, Linda really likes her mobile phone, and in the entire day, she's using the mobile phone. She's connected with girlfriends, she shares things, she shares models, she shares fashionable models, she Facebooks, she makes selfies. And on an average base, she has 200 mobile views a day. That's really, really a lot. And more importantly, what's the setting of learning? How does she learn the lessons? What's her daily, weekly schedule? Well, on Monday, mostly, they go to school from 9 to 5. And after that, what do they do on school? The setting of learning, these are actually pictures in Dutch schools. And what I like the most, when we make these programs, we go to a school. And when we go to a school, we take, for example, they have to learn to cut increasing lengths. Increasing lengths is that your lengths are increasing in the bottom area. And this is a projection, how they have to project the hairs. And what's the most funny thing is that when a student and a teacher are talking in the back of the classroom, the other students don't follow anything what's being taught there. So for instance, if you are being cut by your neighbor and she takes you with you to a school, there's a really, really high chance that she cuts it wrongly. So what did we want to do? We wanted to make a program in which the student was able to take her mobile phone or take her tablet and look at the instruction video, which she was missing on the back. Well, the rest of the week, I already told you, the rest of the week she was working in the salon, and evenly on Thursday she has to work in the evening too. And we look into the salon. This is the setting of learning in the salon. You're actually hairdressing. You're connecting with customers, you're talking to customers, you're washing their hairs. So there isn't any time to go to your laptop or tablet because you're actually working. And well, there is one computer system, that's the cash register, but really, if you talk to entrepreneurs, you are not allowed to touch the cash register, let's say, for e-learning. So there isn't any room for normal e-learning or traditional e-learning in the salon. So what was the problem we were facing? Well, if you look at this week schedule, there isn't much time to learn. While you're learning on the floor, you're learning in the salon, you're learning at school. But if you want to study, there is a little bit time. Well, say you have to travel. Well, for instance, what we did was looking into Dutch surveys from 2011 to 2014, where our target group was actually using mobile technology. They were using mobile technology and smartphones when they were traveling. And we said, well, they should be able to learn when they are traveling to school or traveling to the salon. And another problem we had, well, what's their off time? The Wednesday, they don't work at Wednesday, and they have off time in the weekends and in the evening. In the weekend, really, they want to go out with girlfriends and they just want to party. So they're not learning in the weekend. So what do we have left? We have traveling time, and we have the time we call media use on the couch. Another survey from the Dutch source, it's a GfK source, and they make yearly surveys about media use or mobile use or technology use in different target and user groups. And if you look into the data, the smart and mobile use tablet on the couch is widely implemented in the Netherlands. So when we want to reach them, we should bring them something on mobile, we thought. And if we take a closer look to the target group, you see that in our age block, 13 to 34 years, they only want to use mobile phones. So we had no choice to go mobile with an entire vocational learning program. Okay, let's go to the didactic approach. This is the class setting in which they were learning. And what I really like from the class setting, if you look, you see the girls on the side, they're really looking bored. And this is an actual image from a classroom. And what I always talk about is that the center of attention in the instruction is rather like this. So the three girls and the teacher in the green area, they really understand what's being taught. The yellow and orange area have rather a clue, but not entirely a clue. And the red, they're lost in space. And that means they don't have any clue of what is being taught in the green area. So the problem we were facing is that we should make a didactic approach in which it is easy accessible to preview what you are going to be taught or to view it backwards. And what we made was something to make this easier. So what did we do? We made a program which was basically entirely responsive. So it should use and work on your PC, your tablet or your mobile phone. And it should look differently, and also the user interface should be perfectly made for that device. And for instance, our video player, we have a normal video player and we have all kinds of scenes in which they can interact with the content. Because what was important that we wanted to accommodate different learning styles. For instance, you have a student who wants to look into a practical assignment and wants to look into the practical assignment before they are going to cut hair. So what we made was, for mobile, a video player in which you can push the video, you can look into the video, but if you have questions, you get an overlay in the video to analyze the scene or view it again. But you also can view, if you want to, the video entirely and go to the analyzed scene after that. So we wanted to accommodate different learning styles, and we also tested that with the target group. Another thing we did is to make all kind of assignments connected to the video, so it had more content-related data. Okay, and user experience, mostly important. If you have a mobile phone, you want to have all kinds of interaction and work forms which are really large and which really interact very nicely. So what we made were all kinds of, we say, werkvormen in the Netherlands, a mix and match, which belongs to which, or we made, we call it snap je verpakking in the Netherlands, and that means what is this product telling me. And we made also polls, because it's really nice to know what other students are thinking, not about your meaning, but the other meaning. And we made all kind of inspiration pages where you get inspiration from other hairdressers. And we have hotspots, multiple choice, and step by step, all mobile, all working on every device. And what we also did was look into mostly the most important target group for selling the product. Because the student has to learn how to cut hair, but in the Netherlands it's really different. the student pays for the product, but the teacher says if he wants to work with the product. So we had to accommodate the Dutch teacher who wants to work with High Level. And what we did was looking into their needs and make a value proposition for the teacher. And what we did was, all right, we have to make some content added value. And what you do if you want to create value, you look into games. So I was looking to Super Mario Maker. Maybe you all know what it is. Actually, you can make your own levels and you can share them with other colleagues. And I was thinking, well, if we want to make it really work, we should have a program in which the teachers can add content and share content with other teachers who have their own value. And that was for more reasons. That was not only to recognize themselves in the program, but also to have a longer loyalty loop, so they wanted to use the program because their own content was in the program. So what we did make was this: we have an entire LCMS system in which they can actually make new magazines, new content, and it works like a photo book. You just drag and drop it in. And if you have chosen how you want to build your magazine, you can preview it and also edit it in the live preview. Really, really very, very handy. And why we did it is that not only our content was good and entirely sufficient, but they wanted to place their own content in it and make new lessons. So it was not only our program, but should become their program. Well, from a LCMS point of view, we said, well, the teachers are also main users, and they don't want to go to a PC or laptop to check everything. They want to do it on their mobile phone. So we made entire overviews from the class and the student overview. The practical assignment should be judged and assessed from mobile phone and not from a PC or laptop. And most importantly, we wanted to have efficient learning actualities. So what we made was something in which you could monitor the students all the time. But monitoring is not only have they followed the lesson or didn't they follow the lesson. Monitoring is also making context added value. So what we did make, and you see the circles, small circles, large circles and dots. The dot is the actual mark they had. And you see a line, that's the average. And if they have a dot right from the average, they have a 7 or an 8. And the circle means how long they actually study in the program. So in one overview you can see, well, this student really, really learned and he had a lot of time in the program and had a good mark, and this student is a little bit lazy, or most worse is this student learned a long time but has a really, really bad mark. And then you have instant recognition of which student should use and should get extra attention. Well, I have a short video to present you what High Level is all about and what we made. So have a look into it.
High Level is the leading teaching method for hairdressers and developed for students in the vocational education system and hairdressers in the salons. The basic hairdressing principles are divided in 6 main themes. The blended learning method contains 3 different educational tools: theory books, workbooks with case assignments, and an online learning method. The textbooks provide a clear overview of the basic hairdressing principles. There is one book for each of the 6 themes. The combination of beautiful photos, clear drawings and fluent texts make it an ideal learning tool for the target group. Step-by-step roadmaps explain how to use the basic hairdressing principles. Inspiration pages challenge the students to look beyond. In addition to textbooks, there are 5 workbooks with practical assignments, which encourage the students to get to work. The case assignments are about writing and drawing, and you can even tear them out. The online learning method consists of magazines and model films, in which the student sees how the techniques are executed.
Naast het knippen, snijden, kleuren en omvormen van het haar zijn er nog meer disciplines in ons mooie vak.
And can get plenty of practice of the theory behind the techniques, and in executing the techniques through many different templates in the magazines and model films. The magazines and model films are organised into a standard curriculum with different blocks. Instead of using the standard curriculum, the teacher can also create her own curriculum that best fits the need of her class. In addition to the curriculum, students can find the complete content of Hair Level under Themes, where all the magazines and model films are categorised by theme and topic. In the gallery, the student can upload photos of their own creations as inspiration and photos of the end results of assignments from the workbooks. Students can view and like each other's photos. Accessing interesting or favorited pages quickly. The student can add pages to her favorites where a direct link to that specific page is placed. The teacher has her own unique login to the LCMS and the content of Hair Level. Here she can view her classes and students and their performance quickly and easily. She can download progress reports and assess her students on practical experience by simple online scorecards. She can assess students one by one or whole classes all at once. In content management, the teacher can create her own curriculum by simply creating blocks and dragging and dropping lessons into these blocks. Hair Level has lots of standard lessons to use, but a teacher can also create her own magazines. By dragging and dropping templates and adding text and photos, a magazine is easily constructed. With a preview mode, you can quickly view your own magazine. The online learning method is accessible on laptop, tablet and smartphone, which makes Hair Level the most progressive hairdressing training at the moment.
So you've seen Hair Level, and you've all seen that it has a high and rich user experience. And what we did make was 8 textbooks, 5 case assignment books, and a really, really large online learning platform, which is mainly mobile accessible. And the impact was really great. We just started a few months ago, and already we have some 5,000 Hair Level total users. And what we got was market dominance in the Netherlands. So user response was really terrific, and for instance, they liked it, they extremely liked it, and one thing I liked the most was one student who said to their teacher, well, I can actually make this on the bus when I'm going to my home. And the teacher was, yes, you can. And that was what we wanted in the first place, to have something which they could take with them at home and was easily accessible, because we believe that learning time is mostly short times which you log on, use something, and you go further with your daily chores. They don't learn, maybe, like we learned in the past. And what is really important, and why I think Bespeak should win, especially Hair Level should win mobile use and mobile e-learning award, is only one reason. I always say, if we can't reach the students anymore, we cannot teach them anymore. If we don't reach them anymore, we can't teach them anymore. And there is a lot of case and sentence in that just one sentence. Because what I'm actually saying, if we can't instruct them anymore and they don't read it or use it anymore, we are losing valuable instruction time. And I always say to colleagues, but also to teachers, if you really love your student, you give them Hair Level, because they want to learn differently than we want to learn. And I think that's the most important thing, is that we should look at the target group and value their value proposition. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you had a nice overview about how we made Hair Level and how enthusiastic at Bespeak we are with this product. And I really hope we win the e-learning award 2015.